What's going on, guys? Connor Hansen from Performance Training here with Adam Cook. Trying a different camera angle today. Let us know how you like it in the comments section down below, or if you like the other way better. Today we are going to be talking about why you're not making gains in the gym, or why you're not seeing the results that you want to. You know, not all of us are trying to gain in the gym. Some of us are trying to lose in the gym. But this video, we're talking about why that's not happening. Adam, first thoughts.
Ooh, I had a lot of years I didn't make any gains in the gym.
Okay, and were you going lots or?
Too often, probably.
Too often, okay.
You know, high school years, you know, I got in the gym at a pretty early age. You probably did too.
Yeah.
Let's say 15 years old.
Yeah, I was about 9th grade, 10th grade.
Till, honestly, 24 years old, 9 years in the gym. I mean, I would see some results, right? Pump the biceps up a little bit, but yeah, overall, you know, getting in shape, probably, you know, playing ball and stuff, but man, as far as muscle development and what we're doing, what our goals are, lifting weights, building strength, no gains.
Right.
Really, I mean, nothing for the time I was putting in.
Why do you think that is?
Well, I know why that was.
All right, let's hear it.
Poor muscle recruitment patterns, right?
Okay.
Improper training programs.
Okay.
Where do you want me to start?
I think a big thing that you just mentioned was the muscle recruitment.
Yeah.
Right.
Yep.
We have, and you'll hear us talk about it a lot on the channel, is that if you have an anterior pelvic tilt, which means that your back doesn't have a good natural curvature, it's a little bit too much curve on one way or another way or the other way.
Donald Duck syndrome,
the Donald Duck posture, or the what is it? The Pink Panther
would be the opposite, where your butt's tucked under.
Your butt's tucked under, or you kind of have the ghetto booty that's sticking out. You're not going to get glute activation. Your core's not going to work the way that it should. You just have muscle dysfunction, and that happens up in the shoulders too, the neck, anywhere that there's joints. You can have muscle imbalances, right? And when you have a muscle imbalance, the muscles don't work the way that they're supposed to. So you can go in and hit the gym, but you're not going to get the mind-muscle connection. And I say mind-muscle as if they're different. They're really the same, but it's a good way to kind of cue it in, like mind-muscle connection.
And being able to find those muscles, you want to really be doing the work, right?
Right.
So let's take bench press. Everybody's favorite, right?
Everybody. Monday, bench day.
Right. So especially growing up, you know, you got to bench more than your buddy, right?
Yep.
So we were always throwing on too much weight, which is probably the main reason for the poor recruitment patterns, right?
Right.
Get too much weight, can't do it right. You're doing that for too many reps, too many sets.
Yeah.
Not dialed in right that way. So, you know, and then you're also still using those muscles to an extent. So you're overdeveloping that. So I didn't have good balance in the shoulders, no back muscles.
Yeah.
I mean, you got to get that balance is key.
And if you so the problem with doing, let's say, somebody that has called kyphosis, where you're kind of like hunched forward, a huge cause of that is too tight of a chest, right? So you go into the gym and you bench a ton, and then you don't do a whole lot of pulling, the opposite action to work that backside. So now your chest is tight, and not only is it tight and pulling you out of this way, now your back muscles aren't going to work correctly, and now your chest muscles aren't going to work correctly because they're so chronically shortened, you can't shorten them even more.
Exactly.
You know?
When you just showed that kyphotic posture, that forward, kind of rounded forward, that was the big thing, is you get overdeveloped, and then you can't get in the proper position, which is really where the strength lacked, right? So I backed off the weights, if you want to know how to get the gains, right? Backed off the weights, found that proper posture and position.
Kind of where you're tucking your shoulder blades.
Exactly. Now all of a sudden I'm using my lats. Honestly, was a big piece I was missing on my bench press. Once I started doing it right, my weight went up real quick, and I would feel sore in my lats a lot of the time, just from that proper position.
I saw a kid, and he was actually from my neighborhood back home, my parents' neighborhood, and he was a football player, and I want to say he was 8th grade, maybe 9th grade, big guy. He had some type of Samoan blood in him. So he's this big guy, and in football, they always, benching is a huge part of it. Because you got to push the guys off the line, and I understand that, but it's more of a pride thing. And so this kid had a huge bench for an 8th grader. I think he was close to 2 plates as an 8th grader, right? So he's got this big, strong bench. But he was so internally rotated, when he would go to the lat pull down machine, he has it on like 50 and can't even get there because he's so tight up front, which that's the whole purpose of strength training, is to get you, especially as an athlete, is to make you a better athlete, right? With that lack of mobility, he's worse off than if he were to not bench at all and just do, just play his sport.
Yeah, somebody recently was telling me that it might have been you, but the Stanford strength and conditioning coach, and that team has made strides.
And they've been doing a bunch of body weight. Is that
no weights for the freshmen, I think, is what, if I remember right. So,
holy cow!
I mean, you're talking about a very high level collegiate
school. Yeah, I have a buddy that
team.
went to Stanford.
So there's some merit to the just training body weight, learning that motor control,
hip
stability.
Huge.
That's something I've been working on.
Mobility.
Mobility and stability, stabilizing,
right.
kind of to warm up for me currently.
So I think muscle contraction is a huge way, and recruitment patterns to see the gains in the gym. I think, at least for me, the biggest thing is going to be consistency, right? We talked about people that jump from one nutrition program to another one without staying consistent, and people do that same, program hopping, where they'll jump from, a 4-day split to a full body routine back to a 4, and they don't give it long enough for your body to adapt in a way and overcome that barrier, and that's, I understand that when you're in a plateau, you got to switch things up to,
sure.
Even if it's just mentally, you got to switch things up, but you got to stay on something. I would give it at least, 6 to 8 weeks of consistent effort,
right?
Especially on the diet side of things, 6 to 8 weeks of consistent effort. And how intense are your lifting sessions? Are you going in and you're spending a lot of time on the phone and you're texting, you're talking? The big corporate gyms here, you see a lot of that. Kind of the bros that go in there just for the social aspect. And if that's your thing, that's fine, no worries. But then you can't complain when, I'm not seeing the strength or the muscle gains that I want to. It's like, yeah, because you were there for 3 hours, but you legitimately only lifted for maybe 30 minutes.
Right. Well, let's preface this whole thing. Why you're not. Let's not even call it the gains, but why you're not getting the results you want in the gym, right?
Yeah.
So let's start at the very beginning. What are the results people are looking for?
Everybody that comes and sits at this desk says they want to be healthier and they want to tone. And when people say they want to tone, my thought is they want to gain muscle and lose fat. Right? They want to look good. They want to tone.
They don't even know they want to gain muscle.
Right.
But if you want to tone up,
you need. Yeah, you can lose as much weight as you want. But if you don't have muscles that's gonna pop after you lose the fat,
females, you too.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah. I just posted. Was that today? I posted maybe yesterday about how women need to lift heavy. Girls go into the gym and they think, I don't want to get bulky, and so they'll do, 3 sets of 15 to 20. Super lightweight, never fatiguing the muscle, never giving it a reason to grow and to overcome.
Right.
And then they wonder why they don't look the way that they want to. If you look at, the bikini competitors or even some of the physique girls that look really, really good, they're lifting super heavy, but they don't have the testosterone. Women don't have the testosterone, except for, if they're taking it synthetically or from pills or whatever, to get big and bulky. Right. Especially if you're on a calorie deficit as a woman, there's physiologically no way you are going to get big and bulky. They always think like, I'm not going to get bulky, as if it's like just going to happen. They're going to wake up one day and be like, oh my gosh, my muscles. I
always try to explain that to them. It's like, it's not overnight. If you think you start getting too bulky, we can make adjustments.
Yeah.
But I guarantee if you start seeing muscles popping, you're going to like it.
Yeah. They're like, and I've had people come here and they're like, I don't want to get too big. And I'm like, what do you mean? What do you mean by too big? And they're like, I don't want to look like you or whatever. And I'm like, too big? I've been trying to get too big my entire life. It's like the hardest thing. You sitting in front of me and being, they're usually deconditioned.
Right.
And they're worried about getting too big. And I'm like, let's just start by getting you healthy and getting your muscles working.
So if your goal is to get in better shape, feel better, I think cardio, that's where cardio has some good merit. Because when your engine can go a little better, right? You have a bigger gas tank, you're going to feel a lot more energy.
Right.
So, and you can do cardio. You don't have to jump on a treadmill to do cardio.
Right.
You can do cardio with weights. And that's where those higher reps come in handy.
Right.
The 20 reps in a set, or supersets, or circuits.
Supersets are good. Circuits are good.
I can't get on a treadmill. I can't even do it in here.
I know.
Supersets.
I did treadmill the other day. Killed me.
I try to superset everything personally. A lot of circuit work.
Yeah.
If I'm trying to get the conditioning there.
And I give a lot of crap to people that do cardio. There's, like you said, there's a lot of merit in people that are able to even pound the treadmill. Like that. There's something going on in their mind that I just personally don't have. So that's awesome.
Or
for
something
them.
that's not going on.
Yeah. And the other thing is, and they've done studies on this, doing a little bit of cardio, the guys that are trying to gain, it might actually benefit you, because especially if you go and hit the treadmill for 15, 20 minutes, you're not burning that many calories, right? You're going to maybe burn 20 to 50, depending on your metabolic state or whatever. But then, just have an extra half cup of rice, or, get the calories in that way if you're really, really worried about it. But your lifting sessions will be better because you won't be huffing and puffing. You'll be able to push more weight because your body is able to supply oxygen to the muscles.
Right. Yeah, that's a good point. So then if you are trying to get bigger, if that is your goal, we just kind of talked a little bit about the weight loss.
Weight loss, calorie deficit, lift heavy.
So let's talk about, you mentioned the calorie deficit, or the calories you burn, right? So for somebody that is trying to lose weight, I guess we can finish round out that conversation is, I'm trying to lose weight, I'm doing all this cardio. Okay, how's your nutrition? I'm working out enough. Okay, well, like you just said, you're on the treadmill for 20 minutes, you're going to burn 50 calories.
Yeah.
I like to play basketball, play an hour of basketball, and I'm maybe burning 500 calories.
Right, and probably that's you're sprinting up and down,
right,
and running.
Running hard, working out harder than most people do, right? As far as the cardio capacity, sprinting. And how easy is it to eat 500 calories?
Oh, so quick. Those Costco muffins, 1,000 calories a piece.
Okay, so I'd have to play 2 hours of extremely intense basketball to burn off one muffin.
Right.
So what's going to be easier for somebody that doesn't have hours in the gym? Is it going to be to do 2 hours of intense cardio every day to burn off an extra 1,000 calories? Or know what you can cut out of your diet that's not doing you any favors if losing weight is your goal?
Yeah, if losing weight is your goal, I go calorie deficit. You need to be doing a little bit of cardio, keep the ticker working, get the lungs going.
And walk.
Walk is great.
Walk outside.
Yeah, movement's great.
Sure, move the body.
So calorie deficit, do the cardio. You do need to be lifting for two reasons. One, lifting heavy makes your body like, oh, I need to hold on to this muscle. So then when you're doing cardio or you're doing the calorie deficit, you're more likely to burn the fat versus the proteins in your muscles.
Right.
So you'll maintain muscle mass. Then, if you're maintaining muscle mass, muscle burns more calories than fat, right? So you have, let's just make it easy, you have a 200-pound man that's 5% body fat versus a 200-pound man that's 50% body fat. And there are people out there that fall into that category. And that, in that case, the person that is the 5% body fat can consume way more calories and maintain that 200 pounds because his body is so metabolic. And he's going to be eating, using that as fuel to fuel your muscles versus, fat doesn't really need fuel. It is fuel. Right?
True. So that gives you some good pointers on the weight loss side for sure.
Right.
Really, really fundamental. We actually hit some fundamentals.
Hey,
today, right?
that
still technical,
that
but those are basics.
Was not nutritional. That was not basic. Right.
So that's if you're trying to lose weight, feel better, right? I want to look better, feel better. We hear it all the time.
Lots of vegetables, good amount of fruits, whole grains, lots of protein.
Water.
Don't
drink your
tons
calories.
Of water. Lift heavy. Do a decent amount of cardio. Just and then be consistent.
Sure.
Right. Just start and keep going.
Right. It's a lifestyle.
Yeah.
It's not a
exactly.
It's not a goal just to get in shape.
Totally.
The journey's never over.
Yeah.
So what about if you're trying to get bigger? I'll let you handle this one since you're on that journey.
You're right. I've been on that journey just about my whole life. I was a skinny kid. But it's great because when I'm older, I'll be able to maintain a leaner physique. But right now it kind of stinks because I'm trying to get as big as possible. But like I said, people are like, oh, I don't want to get too big. And it's like, I've been trying to get too big
working
so long, and it just doesn't. And so
you want to be like freakishly big?
I don't
kind
know.
of.
A little bit. I kind of want to get to the point where when I walk in a room, everybody's just like,
It's like the Arnold quote, right? The worst thing you could be is ordinary.
Oh,
so you
yeah.
want a little bit of that freakish physique going on?
Totally. But
I appreciate that.
I am natural, and I've never done steroids, never will do steroids. And so
I've got an idea how you could get freakishly big.
So being a
never gonna do steroids.
No.
Okay.
No, never
It's
gonna
fair.
do it.
I've never done them either. Obviously, it's not really a thing for me, but I almost would try them personally just to experience it, to have some of that perspective. If I do, I'll let you guys know. I'm not even worried about it. Maybe in the next 5 years. Sometime.
Right. I know that if I have an addictive personality, if I try steroids and I get decently big, or like I can even go harder in the gym or whatever, I will
permacycle.
There goes all my paychecks.
So that is one way to get bigger.
Right. So steroids is a huge, and it's way more prevalent now. Back in Arnold's day, everybody was on steroids because they only had the one. They had testosterone. That was it. Like there was none of this, crazy synthetic trend and like all this other stuff that they have going on.
Well, let's in my opinion, if you're a kid listening and you're under 25, don't take steroids.
No.
There's no reason to.
No. Don't even mess around with like pro hormones.
No reason.
Those things can mess you up hard.
Yeah. Creatine,
way bad.
You're good.
Creatine, you're good. Pre-workouts are okay. Make sure the caffeine isn't too super high. Sure. I'd say keep under, 200 milligrams, 250 milligrams.
25 to 40 years old, I think that's kind of a personal decision. Depends on your goals.
Depends on where your natural testosterone level is,
And 40 and above, if it's something you're interested in, go to your doctor. You can get them legally, and then you know what you're taking. Yeah. Right?
You're having a licensed physician prescribe it for you. And most of them will.
Right.
If you're 40 years old and you have the testosterone of a 75-year-old.
Low T.
And it changes everything. Testosterone isn't just for building muscle. It helps just about every other process in the body. It can improve.
And there are a lot of natural ways to boost your testosterone. You don't have to go injecting anything.
Lifting heavy boosts testosterone.
Yep. So let's get bigger, right? Let's get bigger without steroids.
Let's get bigger with Connor Hansen. You have to be in a calorie surplus right there. Okay, just like fat loss, calorie deficit, weight gain, calorie surplus.
Okay. When you're losing weight, typically let's be super basic. 500 calorie deficit
will help you lose a pound a week
from your metabolic rate. Is that where you can?
Yeah.
Okay. And then if you're trying to gain weight, 500 calories. 500 more if you're a bigger guy.
Mm-hmm. Okay. I'd say 500 to 1,000, depending on what type of weight you're trying to put on. Right. Like some football players, they need a lot of muscle, but some of them just need size. They just need weight that they can push it through. Right. If you're just trying to go a lean mass, lean gain, I would go that 500, maybe 75. 750. Okay. There we go.
Yeah. And it might be less. Your body's going to adapt to what you're already doing. It has its baseline. There's a word for that.
Basal metabolic rate?
Or homeostasis.
Homeostasis, right? So where your body likes to be.
Yeah, exactly. So it's going to want to...
Stuck at 200.
Yeah, exactly. So he's homeostatic at 200.
Can't move past.
So it's going to want to stay... So if you have a pretty consistent diet and you throw an extra 2,000 calories in, your body is not going to really utilize that much. Mm-hmm. It'll utilize... So maybe increasing 100, 200
slowly
calories.
Moving. Otherwise, your digestive system is going to be destroyed, and then you're going to be on the back end kind of trying to do, clean up for a while before your stomach adjusts.
So if you decide you're trying to bulk up, maybe increase by 100 calories a week over a 5-week period. Does that seem?
Yeah, 100 calories a day
a day.
I would say a day. Yeah, because you want to be consuming 500 calories extra a day to gain a pound a week.
Okay.
Would be because very basically, and there's lots of things that kind of influence this. 1 pound is about 3,500 calories. So over the 7 days, you got 500 a week or 500 a day.
Sure.
If you're trying to build muscle, you're going to be wanting to eat a lot of carbs and a lot of proteins. Proteins, I would say keep it around 1 to 1.5 grams per body pound. Yeah.
Pound of body weight.
Pound of body weight.
That's just straight body weight, not lean body weight.
Not lean body weight, just straight body weight. There's some fluctuation with that. Usually when somebody's losing weight, I'll even bump up the proteins more because your body will use protein as carbs in a process called gluconeogenesis. But that gets of course, gluconeogenesis. But yeah, so increase the calories.
Eat more.
Eat more proteins and carbs.
How about in the gym side of things?
The gym, so this is kind of a trick that I have kind of tested and developed, and it's actually worked really well. So supersetting, I think, is a great way to spend less time in the gym, fatigue the muscles. I have a theory that you need to be training till failure or close to failure. I would say form failure, right before your form starts going.
Which takes a while to really dial that in. If you're new to the gym,
right.
But if you're seasoned and you're just looking to kind of get to that next level, you should be able to do that.
And so with my supersets, I go back to that muscle contraction, right? Because the harder your muscle contracts, the more blood you're getting there, more blood, more nutrients, all of those great things. And then you can really reach failure with less weight, right? Less joint injuries, that sort of thing. So
that's a big misconception. I mean, you want to lift heavy,
right?
You're going to get the anabolic.
Yeah. So I was going to say, I always do one exercise at the beginning of my day. So let's say I'm training legs, let's say quad dominant. I'll do like heavy back squats, like maybe 5 sets of 5 to 8, and just like try to go under heavy load safely, under heavy load, because lifting heavy has been proven to boost free reigning testosterone, so free testosterone in your blood. And then with the slower, more muscle contractions, more, the eccentric movements, really pumping the muscles, then, that testosterone is just free floating. It can actually get into the cell a little bit easier.
Yeah. And then heavy is going to tax your nervous system as well. Right. It'll make you stronger, which if you're trying to get big, you should try to get strong as well. And then you're going to get the anabolic response from that. And then the lighter sets, focused though, right? Right.
Yeah. So on those, you really need to reach the failure. And, if you're not, here's a quick way to make strength gains and muscle gains right off the bat. You ready for this? Eccentric movements. If you're not controlling the eccentric portion, so those of you who don't know, concentric, let's take a bicep curl. So concentric is when you are shortening the muscle, right? So that's the actual movement.
Flexing the arm.
You're flexing the arm, the concentric. The isometric is kind of that in-between stage right before you start lowering it, where you're flexing, but there's no movement that's happening. And then the eccentric is when you're lowering the weight or the muscle is elongating. On most exercises, it's when you're lowering the weight.
And the bro term for that is a negative.
A negative, exactly. Right. If you're not controlling your negatives or your eccentric movements, try this. You'll have to go down weight by a considerable amount, but try doing 3 to 4 second negatives. You will feel a pump that you've never felt before. You will feel DOMS, delayed onset muscle soreness, that you've never felt before. And you'll get strength gains and muscle gains with the pump, and it's skyrocket your gains just by doing that alone.
For sure, definitely. And that's something, there's a guy that works out in here named Nick that he told me that you pointed out.
Yeah.
He needs to slow down his reps.
Yeah.
Well, immediately, it was like the next week I told him, man, your arms look bigger.
Yeah.
And he said that you had told him that. He was going slow, and I could see those specific muscles working.
Yeah.
If you're trying to hit your chest, if you're trying to hit your biceps, like the guys and the bros at the gym want to do, or if you're being functional and you really want your quads and your glutes to work, are you feeling that exercise in those muscles? Because if you're not, then you're doing something wrong. If you're doing curls and you are not feeling it in your bicep, you're doing something wrong. Right. So find where you feel that targeted muscle. Slowing down is a huge way.
Yeah.
And if you're feeling it in your shoulder, then you need to make an adjustment so that it's into your arm or whatever muscle you're trying to attack.
Right. And something that we've talked about before is it's like neuromuscular patterns, right? So your brain is an incredible thing, and it tries to compensate whenever possible. So if it can curl, if it can get the weight up by flexing the shoulder a little bit more or using momentum or whatever, it's going to. So you really have to develop these motor patterns of using the correct muscles for the correct lifts if you want to see the gains that you want to, or the results.
So that kind of covers some good nutrition for cutting or bulking, some good gym stuff for cutting or bulking.
Yeah.
Maybe we should get into, and maybe in another video, talk more pure strength and performance, if that's kind of your goal in the gym, because that's probably a whole nother discussion.
We could talk for days about that. I mean, we are called performance training.
That's right.
Here at
If that's something you guys want to know about, let's hear it. I want to hear from you.
Yeah, cool. Go ahead and check us out on Instagram, Performance Training Utah, Facebook, Performance Training Utah, email performancetrainingutah@gmail.com, and our website, performancetrainingutah.com. Hit us up with a like, subscribe, and a comment, if you will. Helps out the channel. And we'll check you guys next time. Thanks.